Hi, my name is Brandon, but you can call me Big Z, and today I'm talking about my top 17 most anticipated things of 2017. So to start off, my list will have all things that have hard dates. So there are some things that I am possibly looking forward to, but might not come out in 2017. So a big one is the Winds of Winter by George R.R. Martin. And this one is, I think, relatively likely to happen because, he was trying to release a book last year before the start of the new season of Game of Thrones, the TV show. And he's had a whole another year and then some because the show's coming out in summer this year. But you never know with him. And I know he'll have he can have an accelerated publishing schedule. So he still probably needs, though, 2 to 4 months to publish a book, to copy edit and to actually print it and everything. So I think if we don't hear about it by March, possibly April, it probably won't come out this year. But I'm hoping. Another one is the Doors of Stone by Patrick Rothfuss, and this one is I think less likely to happen. It'd be good if it'd be the 10-year anniversary of his first book. But I think with his last World Builders campaign, if it was close at all, he probably would have mentioned something about it. And in the last book I want to mention is the Thorn of Emberlane by Scott Lynch. It's another delayed novel. And this one I think is more likely to come out, but he would not see any sort of accelerated release that the other two authors might. So it could be early 2018. And for games, and these are two games that, they are saying that they're going to release in 2017, but there's no actual date. And since we've only seen teaser trailers, I wouldn't be surprised if they come out in early 2018. And that's the Last of Us Part 2. First, The Last of Us was one of the best games on the PS3, and I absolutely loved it, and I'm really looking forward to a sequel. And the other one is Red Dead Redemption 2, and that was one of the best games from the last generation, and it'd be really interesting to see what they can do with it, now. And I think that one's probably less likely, but I really don't know. It's tough to know with video games. And also, I don't have any music on my list because music is a lot tougher to date because, there's a lot of time to be surprise releases or things. But I will say the new Tool album I would love to see in 2017, but who knows when we're going to see it or if we're ever going to see it. And I'll say my favorite band, The Loud, I know they're going to start working on a new album, and they'll probably come out later this year. But again, if they haven't even worked on it, I don't think I can put it on my list. And then one TV show would be Stranger Things Season 2. And this one, might come out this year, but since it doesn't have really any even small date attached to it, I'm not 100%, so I didn't put it on my list. But now that we have those out of the way, we can start on the real list. At number 17 is the horror film Get Out. And that is coming out February 24th. And it's directed by Jordan Peele from, Key and Peele fame. And it is looking very interesting. The trailer has, it looks like the main character, he is a black man. He is dating a white girl, and they're going home to see her family and introduce him to them. And when he gets there, something's not right with this whole town. And her mother is a hypnotist, and there are all these black people working for the families, and they could be brainwashed slaves. You don't really know from the trailer, but something is not right. and it looks really creepy and looks really different. Like it looks like a really original horror film, and I'm really looking forward to seeing. Like the date is a little odd, like in February, like there's a bit of a dumping ground. But I think they're realizing that you can put better films throughout the year and still have them do well. So hopefully that is the case for this one. Number 16 is the Belko Experiment. And this is coming out March 17th. And this is another horror film, like a thriller. But it is written by James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, Slither, Super, and Romeo and Juliet. And it's a lot of great films. And he didn't have the time to direct this film because of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But it looks like it could be really good. Like it's kind of a mix between The Office and the Battle Royale. So basically, this office building is like locked down, and there's like a voice over the intercom saying that you have to kill one person in the next 10 minutes or we'll kill 5 people. And, then it keeps going more. If you have to kill 10 people or we'll kill 50 people or whatever. And probably at the end you have to kill everyone or one person has to survive or everyone will be killed. Or, but it looks like it should be really fun, really crazy. And I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Next at 15 is Dunkirk, the newest film by Christopher Nolan, one of my favorite directors. And it is releasing July 21st. And it looks to be the next amazing war film. But it's based about a story that we don't really see too much. But then, because we're Americans and Hollywood is American, most of the war movies we see are centered around American stories. Like, you don't really see too many big movies about other European battles in the war. And so this is, I don't know too much about the Battle of Dunkirk, but I know that basically like 500,000 soldiers are trying to retreat, but all they have behind them is the sea. And all of the fishermen and other boats, they have to come in and save them, while the Germans are picking them off like flies in a bucket. And the trailers look amazing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the actual story. Like, it's great because in the trailers they hardly show anything. Like, I think that it's like the one main character is Hardy, the Bane from the Batman movies, but you barely even see a flash of him in when he's flying a plane. But I think he's the main character. I mean, I don't really know, but they don't really show much in the trailers, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Number 14 is Logan, and this is the third Wolverine solo movie, and hopefully it's the best. Like, the other two have been a huge letdown and a small letdown. And this it seems to be kind of based on the Old Man Logan storyline, but you can't really do a lot of stuff from the Old Man Logan story, where essentially there's a bunch of Hulks roaming around that are cannibals, like incestuous cannibals. And there's like Hawkeye was one of the main characters, and there's a lot of characters that are part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and are part of the X-Men universe. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. But I think from the trailer, a big part of it will be X-23, which is the 23rd clone they tried to make from Wolverine's DNA. And in the comic series, she is now the new Wolverine. And the comics are actually, I really liked her as new Wolverine. It's a lot of interesting stuff. But she has the healing abilities, and she has the adamantium skeleton. Although hers are a little different. Like, she has like a toe blade that comes out, and she also has like two blades and then one blade through here. So she's a little different. But I'm not sure exactly how they'll do it. She seems like she's younger in this. But I know the parts of the storyline in the comics where Wolverine like became her father after she tried to kill him, and there's a lot of interesting stuff with that. We'll see what they do with it, in this movie. Like, it could be excellent. It could be a great send-off for him. But, I mean, he is getting older, the actor, Hugh Jackman. And, I mean, he has to be so ripped to play Wolverine. It'll be interesting to see, like, this is the last movie of him or what. Number 13 is Michael J. Sullivan's new book, Age of Swords. And this is the sequel to a previous book. And it looks like it could be really good. Like, it'll be interesting to see like where he goes with the story. It's coming out June 20th. And I love the previous book, and really interesting to see how the story develops, as it goes on. Number 12 is Thor Ragnarok, coming out November 3rd. And this is one that it could be really interesting because the director is Waika Waititi. I might be screwing that up. But I've really enjoyed his films, and he has like a really dry sense of humor. And it'll be interesting to see his take on a superhero film. Like, it seems like it'd be inspired by the Planet Hulk, where essentially it's a gladiatorial alien planet. And instead of this one, it looks like it would be Thor and Hulk. And they'll probably have to fight each other. But then they'll have to go prevent the goddess of death from destroying Asgard. And there's a lot of stuff that it could be good. But I'm slightly worried about it because, the Thor movies have always been probably the weakest of the MCU. But I'm still really looking forward to it. Number 11 is Defenders. And this one is one that I kept in that has a bit of a flexible release date. Yeah, they're saying that possibly the spring, but there is no hard release date for it. But even if we don't have that, then you have Iron Fist that I'm looking forward to, another Netflix Marvel show. And that will be there before they finally do the Defenders. And also have The Punisher possibly later this year. But I'm really looking forward to how they'll bring all the other heroes together on that street level that the other Netflix Marvel shows have been. Now we're into the top 10. And number 10 is Alien Covenant, which is coming out May 19th. So the Alien films are some of my favorite films, especially Alien and Aliens. After that, they're kind of goofy. But, I liked Prometheus. But, it looks like this film will be almost more of a take back to the original Alien. It seems like it's almost like a horror film from the first trailer. And the first trailer looks really, really good. And it really seems more like a prequel to Alien than Prometheus was odd. And at the same time, I'd like to know more about like the I forget the builder, the creators of everything that seeded Earth. But at the same time, I don't know where they go with that storyline. I think, with David, Michael Fassbender's character, is in this movie, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is a different David, or I don't know if they'll continue the storyline from Prometheus at all. It's not called Prometheus 2, it's called Alien Covenant. It's more of a prequel to Alien. But I'm really looking forward to it. Number 9 is John Wick Chapter 2, coming out February 10th. And, the first one was one of my favorite movies when it came out. And it is one of the best American action films in a while. And then they did it so good that it got them jobs on the Marvel films as the stunt coordinators. And it got them a bunch of other directing jobs in the future. And, with this one, I think the first one was from a directing team. And this one is just one director, so it'll be interesting to see how it adapts and what it builds on the John Wick character. Like I said, better not kill the dog again, but I don't think they will. But I'm really looking forward to seeing it. At number 8 is Game of Thrones season 7. And this would be higher, but at a certain point, like, I read the books. I think I started when the second book came out. I started reading them, and I've been waiting a long time for the books, like 6 years, 5 years. I kind of hate, like, I've always been able to separate the show from the book. Like, I'm not like some fans that freak out over every little change. Although there are some changes that I go, well, that's just kind of stupid. But for the most part, I realize that they have to do it to fit in the show. Like, it's easier to have a character that you've already introduced do something that a new character did in the books instead of having to introduce new characters. But at the same time, like, it kind of screws with their backstory. And I have a feeling that this movie, I worry that the show will spoil the books for me. But at the same time, from the show, like, I think there's gonna be a snowball effect in the end of the show. But at the same time, I think that the actual very ending might be what the George R. R. Martin told them it'd be, and it'll spoil it. But I think it may be tough because every little thing that they did or like in the first season, if they didn't introduce a character, or they had a character do something else, they had a character die that didn't die, or they had a character not die that did die, or they had a character not come back to life that was brought to life. Like, things are different between the book and the TV show. So that snowball effect may come into factor. Like, it may completely change the ending. Like, who knows? Like, maybe one character that they skipped is going to be a huge important character in the end. Like, George R. R. Martin may not even know. Even though he has the outline for how it ends, he can always change it because it hasn't been published yet. It hasn't been written yet. But I'm still really looking forward to the season to see what happens. So number 7 is Spider-Man Homecoming, which is coming out July 7th. And, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Like, he's probably my favorite comic books. Like, I loved him when I was younger, and like, some of the new stories are a little goofy, but I still really enjoy them. And the first trilogy of movies I absolutely loved, and I even kind of enjoyed the newer 2 movies, even though they definitely weren't great, the Amazing Spider-Man movies. And I loved him in Civil War, and I'm looking forward to this movie a lot. Well, it'll be interesting to see how the whole idea that the cooperation between Sony and Marvel, and see what comes of it. And it could be excellent. Like, I really like that it's a younger Spider-Man, like, who actually look like he should be in high school. And it'd be interesting to see him in the MCU, like how much of a part Tony Stark will play as Iron Man. It'd be interesting to see how they play that, and I'm really looking forward to it. So number 6 is a little different from the other ones, and this is political humor under President Donald Trump. And that's, some of my favorite shows are like Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and Real Time with Bill Maher, and to a lesser extent The Daily Show with I don't love the new host, and I miss Jon Stewart, but at the same time, I do enjoy I'm starting to enjoy the shows more now. And even like all the late night talk shows, like all the monologues, like there'll be so much fodder for political comedy under Donald Trump. Even though, like, I'm looking forward. Like, it's tough to look forward to anything under Donald Trump, but I tried to find the humor in the situation possibly. But at the same time, I love Louis Black. Like, he in his new comedy, his stand-up routine, he could just bring up newspapers and read the articles about Trump, and everyone would just start laughing. Like, you don't have to write a joke for it. You just read the headlines. But it's still that I'm looking forward to the humor in the situation. So number 5 is Mass Effect Andromeda, coming out in March, and this I'm looking forward to this game, even though I hated the ending of Mass Effect 3. Like, it's a really interesting way to do it because with everything that happened, like it'd be really tough to go back to things after Mass Effect 3 right in our solar system, in our galaxy. Because even though I hated the three choices you get at the end, they are different enough that the galaxy would be very different no matter depending on which one you chose. And it'd be tough to develop for that. For three games, like really different endings to the previous one, like how would that affect the future in the galaxy? And no one really wanted to see a prequel because we know what happens and it wouldn't be that interesting. But they had a really good idea to around Mass Effect 2, the four main races sent arcs to the next closest galaxy to explore and to try to set up a base and like set up a new civilization. And that is a really good idea because you figure that no matter what the beams of light at the end are, that whatever they actually did, you think they would probably travel at most the light of speed, and maybe they may not even be able to go past the limits of our galaxy. So if you go to the next galaxy, you don't have to really worry about whatever happened in Mass Effect 3. And I really that's a good idea, and I'm really looking forward to the game. Like the one trailer, I was a little worried about some of the animations, but hopefully they can fix that before release. And the the new battle system looks really fun. It's really different. It doesn't look as much as all the shoulder height wall that you hide behind and shoot over, like Gears of War. It looks more action packed, and it looks like it should be really fun. I'm hoping the new characters are really interesting and the story is great. And number 4 is Mark Lawrence's new book, Red Sister. And, he's one of my favorite authors. And this book is the first one in a new world. And it's his first, real, female character. And it's just, that's the only viewpoint character for the whole book. And it looks like it should be really interesting. Like, she's being trained by, assassin nuns. And all the early reviews I've seen of it say that it's his best book yet, and if that's true, it's going to be an excellent book that I can't wait to read. So number 3 is Star Wars Episode 8, and that's coming out December 15th, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's a little bit of downer after what's horrible has happened to Princess Leia and how her character, if they'll be able to give her a send-off in this movie, or if they'll have to give her a send-off, in the crawl for the next movie. I mean, it's horrible to think about, but it has a lot of ramifications in the story, especially depending on what they wanted to do with it. But I'm still really looking forward to the next movie. I hope that it's not a retread of the other Star Wars movies. I think now they could really go off and do their own thing. They don't have to play with the member berries and just rely on people's memories and recollections of how much they loved the original series. But I have really high hopes for it, and hopefully they'll be met. At number 2 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And the Guardians of the Galaxy was my favorite movie when it came out of the year. And I'm really hoping that this would be my favorite movie of the year again. And it's coming out May 5th. And, I love that it's really the only MCU movie that's a standalone. And, everything I've seen of it so far, it looks so good. I have really high expectations for the film. And I think that it'll be able to meet them, hopefully. The trailers, they have already some of the best trailers I've ever seen. And if the film can match the trailers, it'll be one of my favorite movies of all time, I think. And I can't wait to watch it. So it's finally time for my number 1. And this is definitely my most anticipated thing of the year. And this is the next book from my favorite author. And that is Robin Hobb, and the book is Assassin's Fate. It's coming out May 9th. And this is, she writes the best trilogies like in the writing world. And personally, I believe that. And this is the third book of this trilogy. And it's really the end of a trilogy of trilogies for these character stories. And I'm so looking forward to seeing what happens to these characters. I've spent so much time in. I've seen their entire lives, and I really look forward to what happens. I don't know if this will be the end of their stories, or if perhaps it'll be an ending, but maybe if she has a story to tell a couple of years in the future, she'll write another story. And between them, she'll write more stories in this world. I don't really know, but I'm just looking forward to it immensely. I'm gonna try to time it where I'm gonna try to reread the entire series up to that, and that's like 15 books. But I really want to do it because they're my favorite series. And I loved when I reread it a couple years ago. I want to reread the whole series again, so I can then read the last book and really love it and really sometimes if a really long series of books, you may forget some of the things, or you may some stuff may not be as fresh in your mind. And when something is fresh in your mind, it's just so much more powerful. So I really want to have that be the best read possible. I'm so looking forward to it. And I really think everyone should read her books. You start at Assassin's Apprentice. But that is definitely my most anticipated thing of 2017. And, hopefully you liked my list. And if you have anything else that I didn't cover, feel free to comment about it. And you can check out my reviews here and here. So thanks for watching.